Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. It's Thursday and I appreciate you bearing with me as the videos have been coming out at different times. I know. You guys are so used to like your totally normal schedule on this channel and it's been all over the place the last few weeks. So thank you so much for being patient. It's been a while since we've talked about Sister Wives. We were on quite the kick during the season. Now, we have covered the show primarily because of my interest in the world of polygamy and the massive, what I believe, untruthfulness of the family, or maybe deception. You know what I mean? Like a family that is claiming that things are a certain way on TV, and then behind the scenes, it's probably very, very different. Or the way that TLC puts the content out is very different than what you would see in the world. And I started thinking about how we had a lot of fun during the season, sort of dissecting that world. We spoke to people from that world. We had Melissa Ellis on, who was in the Kingston clan. We spoke to people from Sounds Choices Coalition, an organization on education and advocacy for polygamy. And we started to understand and dissect some of the choices that the Browns were making and how it was either a farce or it was simply just bending the truth, really just not presenting an accurate depiction of polygamy. Well, on Instagram and on Facebook, the Brown family, they seem to play these media games. And I was on this kick for a while where I was watching what Mary was doing. Because if you remember, in the end of last season, Mary and Cody went to the doctor, the therapist, the love doctor, let's just say, and they sat down and talked about their marriage. And there's been all this press in the media lately that, Mary and Cody are done. Because in that episode, Cody basically says that he regrets marrying Mary and that their entire marriage was sort of a lie and he felt like he was misled, and Mary and him were supposed to work on things, but it really didn't sound like they were coming to a place where they were going to be together. Then comes all the vague booking of Mary, basically talking about how she's like better by herself, or she's only responsible for how she feels. She needs to know her worth. Like constantly sharing these memes of inspiration and of support, which had a lot of people thinking, okay, Mary is leaving. After a while of doing this sort of dance on social media with Mary, I started to think that Mary was just trolling people, maybe doing all of this for publicity. Because during a live stream when she was on Facebook selling her products for LuLaRoe, she had Cody like abruptly walk in, and they seemed way more chummy, like chummy chum. Like everything was hunky-dory. And then a few days later, you have Christine on Facebook in her group talking with her daughter, and her daughter Isabel basically says that Cody still spends the night with Mary. So we had this whole thing of like, is this whole thing fake? Is this whole tension fake? Are they still living like this harmonious life? Because when he barged in on her when she was doing her sale, it did not look as though they had this tenuous relationship. So then we stopped talking about Mary. Christina's been giving us a lot of nuggets on her Facebook group for her LLR clothing, the MLM, which I don't think you should participate in, but that's just me. She sells, shills, whatever you want to call it, these products that have leggings and oversized shirts and all that great stuff. And she has been selling up like crazy, like hotcakes, like doing sales constantly. And she's been traveling to do sales and doing pop-ups and all that. And she has, throughout this page, been dropping little nuggets about her family. And one of them was a couple weeks ago, somebody had asked her daughter, Isabel, if she was doing okay. If you remember previously on one of the seasons, they were talking about how Isabel might need surgery for her scoliosis. Well, they had decided to try alternative methods to avoid the surgery because of the long-term effects of surgery on people's backs, and there can be risks and all of that stuff. So they had her doing kind of all of this wooey-woo stuff to avoid surgery, which the doctors didn't really feel like was doing anything to hurt her, but was certainly not doing anything to help her. And so when they asked her about what was going to happen with Isabel and her surgery and if she still needed it and how she was feeling, back then Christine said that she couldn't actually say anything because of a non-disclosure agreement that she had with the network, which essentially confirmed that they were filming for the next season. Well, not just 22 hours ago, she was back on Facebook dropping way more tea. And this is the kind of tea where it's like hot piping tea. Like, I can't believe she admitted this, and part of me feels for her as a mama bear. So she was talking about how she was recently doing this sale in Phoenix with McKelty, one of her older daughters, and they were reflecting about why they were doing this and why they were working so hard to sell products, because Christine says that they need $50,000 for surgery.
What you guys are doing by helping me so much with your purchases is you are helping me get something done. So I can't go into tons of information, but one of my daughters needs a surgery. And I need $50,000 for a down payment for the surgery.
Now, she so basically says that she needs $50,000 for this surgery. She doesn't say which daughter it's for. She says it's for one of the daughters. She doesn't clarify who's it for or what it's for. And she says she can't say a lot about what it involves because of a non-disclosure agreement. And she's talking about how, this is a humongous down payment. A down payment for surgery of $50,000. Then later in the video, she clarifies and provides even more details.
I can't go into what surgery, just because I've signed a non-disclosure. It's something that we filmed. It's something that we've talked about on the show quite a bit. You guys have to draw your own conclusions on that one, because I can't say more than that. It is surgery that one of my daughters needs pretty badly. $50,000. It's crazy. And with insurance, it's just what it costs. It's crazy.
So in that clip, you'll notice that Christine actually said that this was $50,000 and that included insurance. $50,000? I wonder what their policy is like. That's wild. $50,000 for a down payment with insurance. You would think they would have a better deductible than that. That's like a really high deductible. Otherwise, the insurance company is not covering it. I can't understand how this would be so high. She also said that it wasn't for her daughter truly, and we already know that McKelty is out of the house, so is her daughter, so is Aspen, and it's not Gwendolyn that has issues, so deductive reasoning suggests that it's Isabel, and in that video she mentions that it's somebody that has been it's a person that's been talked about on the show, and it's been a storyline that's been featured. Meaning, after all this time and after everything that's going on, Isabel needs $50,000 for a surgery for her back, and Christine is using her Facebook group to sell clothing to come up with that balance for the down payment for the surgery. And I'm still trying to wonder here, like, this is a family that has a $600,000 home, Christine's house. That's about what she paid for it, like $575,000. They have all of this property that is out on Coyote Pass, about $800,000 worth of property. They have purchased, Cody did with Robin, a $900,000 home, and yet they need money for surgery. Like, sometimes I wonder how much priority they put into their family and into their insurance if that they have to come up with that much money for a surgery. And I know that the way the healthcare system is right now and the high premiums is a mess. Trust me, I am self-employed. We live with that every day. But that's like a policy I can't even understand. This family is always having financial issues, like constantly. Cody just took out a $150,000 loan on a home that he just purchased with Robin. They were like practically scrambling when they bought all the property in Flagstaff. And now she has this nice house that she's living in Flagstaff, in the mountains, by the way, which is nice, really like, and now she needs $50,000 for surgery, and she's now sharing with her community that she's using her clothing line to pay for it. Mary did the same thing. She used LuLaRoe to pay for her bed and breakfast. But where does the money from the show go? Like, do they not save? I'm confused. I mean, obviously, it's wonderful that she has the support and the services, and I'm not ever going to like shade on someone doing what they need to do for their children to get them the surgery that they're doing. I would just hope that maybe they could look into the insurance policies they're having because clearly what they're using is not, that's a lot. Now, some critics were coming at her and saying that she's being a grifter and using her community to fund a surgery and that, you know, she already has all this fame and money and how petty or how manipulative of her to, you know, use this LLR to sell products. I'm not going to go there. I mean, I can see where people will say that, but I'm just more dumbfounded. Like, how do you guys not have the money for the surgery when you're literally on TLC? You've been on TLC for 10 years. Like, where did all your money go? Theoretically, these people should be rich. They should have so much money, and yet they don't. Cody has literally got to be the worst financial manager of the entire universe. And why isn't Cody trying to raise funds? Where's Cody's responsibility? Part of me wonders, like, if Cody even like helps raise funds for this kind of things, or if these women are just like single moms that effectively have a sperm donor and that like he'll just show up on the weekends. So tell me what your thoughts are. First, my opinion is I'm glad that Isabel's finally getting the treatment that she needs. Second, I'm sad that she has to rely on her Facebook group and an MLM to reach that, and I'm still dumbfounded about where's Cody and what's his responsibility in all of this. What are your thoughts on her using LLR? What are your thoughts about Isabel finally getting surgery? And what are your thoughts about them being on TV for all this time? And where's the money? Bye, guys.